The world tells you to shout your dreams from the rooftops, to broadcast every step of your journey. But what if God's wisdom points to a profoundly different path? What if your greatest breakthroughs are forged not in the spotlight, but in the sacred quiet of your own diligent effort? Today we're going to uncover how true, lasting success, the kind that honors God and transforms lives, is often built in the profound stillness, away from the clamor and the constant need for applause. This isn't just about achieving goals. It's about cultivating a spirit of quiet determination that allows God's power to work unhindered in your life, leading to breakthroughs you never thought possible. Many of us find ourselves caught in a cycle of anticipation and disappointment. We're eager to share our grand visions, our ambitious plans, the struggles we're overcoming, hoping for encouragement, for validation, for someone to witness our potential. We sketch out blueprints for our lives, our ministries, our careers, and before the first stone is even laid, we present them to everyone around us. We crave that immediate affirmation, that nod of approval, that sense of being seen and understood. But often, what we receive instead is doubt, skepticism, or even well-meaning but ill-timed advice that subtly chips away at our resolve. This constant external commentary, whether positive or negative, acts like a relentless wind against a tiny seed, preventing it from truly rooting deep enough to withstand the storm. It's a subtle form of spiritual leakage, where our precious energy, our sacred focus, and our divinely inspired vision seep out into the atmosphere of others' opinions, leaving us depleted and exposed before the work has even begun. We become so focused on the performance of our journey that we neglect the actual pilgrimage itself. If this resonates with you, if you're tired of the noise and ready for real progress, take a moment. Pause this video and share your first silent step in the comments below. Let's build a community of quiet achievers, supporting each other in prayer and purpose. And if you feel called to this message, consider joining our family here by subscribing, so you don't miss our next conversation on walking faithfully in God's power. One of the biggest obstacles we face in this journey of silent cultivation is the relentless pressure to perform, to prove, to explain ourselves. It's as if we believe our dreams won't be real until they're validated by someone else's applause. I remember a young man named Alex, fresh out of college, with a burning desire to start a non-profit that connected at-risk youth with mentors in the trades. He was brilliant, passionate, and full of ideas. But every time he shared his vision, with friends or family, he'd get a flurry of questions. Have you thought about funding? What about liability? Do you really have the experience? Each question, though perhaps well-intentioned, felt like a tiny pinprick, deflating his enthusiasm. He spent more time defending his idea than developing it. For nearly 2 years, Alex talked about his non-profit, but never launched it. He was building a magnificent castle in the air, but the foundation, which needed quiet, meticulous work, remained untouched. The principle of overcoming here is simple, yet profound. The most sacred work often requires the most sacred silence. Just as a seed needs to be buried in the dark, fertile earth before it can sprout, our dreams need a period of unseen cultivation. Proverbs 21:23 wisely reminds us, "Whoever keeps his mouth and his tongue keeps himself out of trouble." In our context, this trouble isn't just external calamity, but the internal chaos of doubt and distraction that comes from premature exposure. Another significant hurdle is the allure of premature celebration, the false sense of accomplishment that comes from simply announcing our intentions. We mistake the promise for the fulfillment, the blueprint for the finished edifice. There was a time when I, too, fell into this trap. I had a vision for a specific ministry outreach, a big, bold initiative that I believed would reach hundreds. I was so excited that I started sharing it with everyone, detailing every step, every potential outcome. People would say, "That's amazing, you're going to do great things." And in that moment, I felt a rush, a temporary high that mimicked achievement. But the truth was, nothing had actually been done. The excitement of the announcement inadvertently sapped my motivation for the arduous, unglamorous work required. It was a surprising revelation. The very act of seeking external validation can become a substitute for intrinsic drive. When we rely on others' praise, our internal wellspring of motivation can dry up. True strength isn't found in how many people cheer you on, but in your unyielding commitment to the path God has set before you, even when no one is watching. It's about the quiet, consistent chipping away at the stone, trusting that the masterpiece will emerge in due time. This brings us to a crucial spiritual turning point. Understanding that God often works in the unseen, in the quiet, in the deep places of our hearts and lives. Think of the mighty oak tree. Its immense strength comes from roots that plunge deep into the earth, unseen and unapplauded. It's in that darkness that the tree draws its life, its stability, its power to withstand storms. This is the central biblical truth. God delights in working out His purposes in us and through us in ways that often defy human expectation and public spectacle. Philippians 2:12-13 encourages us to work out your own salvation with fear and trembling, for it is God who works in you, both to will and to work for His good pleasure. This isn't a call to isolation, but to introspection, to a focused, disciplined effort where our primary audience is God Himself. The transformation isn't just in what we achieve, but in who we become as we diligently pursue His calling in quiet obedience. It's an inner transformation, a strengthening of character, a deepening of faith that makes us less dependent on external validation and more reliant on divine affirmation. With this new perspective, we begin to see our journey differently. We stop viewing challenges as roadblocks and start seeing them as opportunities for deeper, quieter growth. We understand that the most impactful testimonies often come from lives lived with integrity and consistent effort behind the scenes. Consider the story of Sarah, a single mother who felt called to write a book, a spiritual guide for women navigating hardship. For years, she juggled her full-time job, raised her 2 children, and carved out precious hours in the quiet of the night after everyone else was asleep to write. She didn't announce her project on social media. She didn't seek a publisher before the manuscript was complete, and she certainly didn't share every chapter with friends for feedback. She simply wrote, prayed, and trusted. There were nights she was exhausted, moments she doubted, but she kept going, driven by an inner conviction. When her book was finally published, it wasn't a sudden explosion of fame. It was a quiet, steady ripple that grew into a powerful wave. Women from all walks of life started sharing how her words, forged in the quiet crucible of her own life, had transformed theirs. Her consistent, unyielding effort, unseen by the world, spoke volumes. Her story is a powerful testament to the fact that God honors diligence in the dark, and that the fruit of our labor often ripens best when cultivated in the quiet. So how do we practically apply this wisdom in our daily lives? First, identify one significant dream or goal that God has placed on your heart. Instead of talking about it, take one concrete, practical step towards it this week, in silence. This could be researching, planning, learning a new skill, or simply spending dedicated time in prayer for it. Second, practice guarding your words. Before you share a new idea or a progress update, ask yourself, is this for validation, or is it genuinely necessary to advance the work? Can this step be taken in quiet confidence, trusting God with the outcome? Third, cultivate a habit of daily devotion where you focus on God's truth and His promises for your life. This consistent time in the quiet strengthens your inner resolve, making you less susceptible to external pressures. Imagine your life as a magnificent garden. You wouldn't dig up every seed you plant to show it off. You'd water it, nourish it, and trust the process of growth. It's time to tend to your spiritual garden with the same patient, quiet diligence. This journey of silent cultivation isn't just about personal success. It's about honoring the divine architect within you. It's about building a life that speaks volumes without a single word, a testament to God's quiet work. When your achievements finally come to light, they will carry an undeniable weight, a profound authority that self-promotion could never achieve. Your life will become a living sermon, a powerful witness to the faithfulness of God who works in mysterious, often unseen ways. What silent seed are you planting today? What unseen foundation are you laying? Share your thoughts below. Let us know what topics are heavy on your heart, and together, let us continue to grow in wisdom and grace, letting our lives be a living, breathing testament to His glory. Until next time, may God bless your quiet efforts abundantly.